So as President Trump makes crime a top priority, Democrats now scrambling to craft a new agenda, one that reportedly avoids divisive fights over crime and immigration. Washington Post saying that their 2026 principles currently sidestep both issues so as to not splinter the party, even as some House Democrats openly push back on Trump's crackdown in Washington, D.C.
This extremist march toward authoritarianism is an attack on black and brown folks, a deliberate distraction from Donald Trump's broken promises. We cannot ignore the structural racism at the heart of this crisis.
So Tomi Lahren is the host of Tomi Lahren on Fearless on Outkick, and Jose Aristimuño is the former DNC deputy press secretary. Good day to both of you. Jose, I want to start with you because I think a lot of these questions are directed toward the party and what you're going to craft together. Tom Suozzi is a center-left Democrat from Long Island, New York. He says that our brand is really toxic right now. He says everybody's registering as independents because they're fed up with this whole thing. And I just mentioned, crime and immigration seem to be at the heart of what really is driving a lot of voters. How do you catch where Trump has gone?
Look, Bill, I got to say that I agree with him. I mean, my question to my fellow Democrats is very simple. How much losing do we have to do until we get our act together? And starting with crime. Look, crime does not discriminate, does not look at color. And when I mean color, I'm talking about red for Republicans and blue for Democrats. If they're going to go out and kill you, they're going to go kill you, plain and simple. So this has to stop. And I got to say, I commend the president with what he's doing when it comes to crime. And I disagree with Trump in many things, by the way, but crime is not one of them. And we know that drug usage is connected to crime. So we see the countless amount of drugs that are coming in from Venezuela, right? And what the president is doing to stop that, to stop Nicolas Maduro, the king of the drug cartels in Latin America, it gives me great pride. And those are the type of things that we can collaborate with the president. When it comes to thugs, when it comes to people like Nicolas Maduro, when it comes to crime in D.C. and Chicago, you have to act fast and you have to act swiftly.
Okay, Tommy, I'm seeing a 14-month runway for this crime crackdown. And you give this president that kind of a lead, and I don't know what kind of argument you're going to have on the left come next November. Go ahead, Tommy.
Right. Well, Republicans, conservatives, we look at the Democrat Party and we wonder, why aren't you getting it together? Why don't you understand that you've lost the everyday American? And I think the answer to that is actually quite simple. I think many elected Democrats are, quite frankly, bored with everyday Americans. They're bored with their issues. They don't want to talk about crime. They don't want to talk about immigration, border enforcement. They don't want to talk about affordability or trade deals because, quite frankly, I think that bores them. What excites them are the fringe issues, the radical issues, the dumb hills that they continue to die on. Men and women's sports and private spaces. Of course, illegal immigration, defending all illegal aliens, even those that are credibly accused of crimes. And then again, coddling thugs and felons in crime-ridden areas. It's so ridiculous for conservatives to watch them go off this cliff and die on these dumb hills. But I think that's where Democrats see the energy. They see people out protesting for LGBTQ, for Gaza, against ICE, and they think that's where the everyday American is. They couldn't be more mistaken.
Okay, well, this is what we found in Americans on Crime. Is it a major problem in large cities? 81% say yes. Are they in favor of military or National Guard assisting police? 55% approve of Trump's handling of crime at 53%. So on the numbers, you're right about that point. Tommy, I'm sorry, out of time. Thank you for your time, Jose. We'll continue this another time, okay? Thank you to both.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.